Nepal, pushed to the brink. A nation in flames. The ruling elite brought to its knees by Gen Z.
They want a meaningful change, and they say they won't stop until they get it.
It took just 48 hours. So how and why did it unravel so fast? The protests that brought these buildings down and brought Nepal's government down did start peacefully. Thousands of young people taking to the streets wanting to be heard. The trigger? A ban on social media platforms. The fuel? Something far deeper. Outrage against corruption, nepotism and inequality. That some would pay for their protest with their lives. First came the tear gas, then water cannons, then the deadly shift. The police opening fire, killing dozens of people. Sanjay got hit in 4 places. These are the rubber bullets that struck him.
I
was hit suddenly. The bleeding was unstoppable. I was not able to stand on my feet. 2 friends held me up and put me in an ambulance. I was wearing a t-shirt and trousers, and they were soaked.
How do you feel towards the police?
If the police were more rational, this situation would not have happened. It looked like the entire system wanted to suppress our voices. They did not need to fire.
In the middle of the chaos, school children fleeing in their uniforms. It was a shocking and sudden spiral. The injured carried away, bloodied, on bikes. It was out of control. By the evening, the Home Minister took responsibility for the deadly crackdown and stood down. The ban on social media apps was lifted. But that wasn't nearly enough to placate the rage already ignited. By morning, Kathmandu started to burn.
There is officially a curfew in place here in Kathmandu, but just look, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people still on the streets. They've been marching on Parliament. We've seen them setting fire to a police station. There is real anger in the air. Now, the Prime Minister has resigned, but it's not enough. We constantly are seeing this stream of people on bikes and on foot.
It was now the political establishment in the firing line, their homes torched. In one attack, the wife of one former prime minister was critically burned. Online, videos circulated of helicopter evacuations, a government in retreat, the security forces and police nowhere to be seen. Symbols of wealth and power eviscerated. Hotels targeted in a city that depends on tourism. A fuse had been lit. Bottled up resentment bubbling over, fermented by high rates of youth unemployment.
People have deep concern about corruption in their country. They want to see meaningful change, and they say they won't stop until they get it.
Impatient, emboldened, infuriated.
This protest is not against the social media ban. This is against the big corruption that these ministers have done for the past 2 decades. We were suppressed. Now we have our voice.
Violet, blue, green, red.
And this is what he's talking about. The seemingly lavish lifestyles of Nepal's elite and their families lampooned online. Their privileged lives set against the poverty of ordinary Nepalis, shared under the hashtag #NepoKids. But on the ground, there was now jubilation.
This is Parliament House in Kathmandu, the centre of political power. And just look, it has been overrun by protesters. They are screaming revolution. They believe they're on the cusp of major change in their country. And they have set fire to part of the building.
The very engine of government was under siege.
Things have shifted quite fast here. Protesters have now stormed into Parliament House. You can see them making their way up the stairs, and they are trying to take away or destroy what little is left here. There's the thud of things crashing around, broken glass all over the floor, and fires too. They want to make clearly the biggest possible statement they can.
They emerged, gleefully clutching mementos, claiming victory. By daybreak, though, a strictly enforced lockdown.
It's really interesting. Kathmandu feels totally different this morning. We've seen lots of military vehicles on the street. Then look at these guys. Now, they're guarding the president's residence behind them. Yesterday, protesters were able to storm inside and set fire to it, and the army, well, they did nothing. Now they're vowing to take things under control.
But this was a country without a leader and with very few places left to work.
This feels totally surreal. I'm inside Parliament House, and just look, destruction everywhere. We were here as hundreds of protesters stormed inside yesterday, and you've got filing cabinets, photos, everything completely burnt to a crisp. And when you look at this scale of destruction, you're just left wondering, will this actually set back the cause of Gen Z, and might we see more violence in the days to come?
The Gen Z movement did repeatedly warn protesters not to act violently. Some of those who returned to clear up the mess said their cause was hijacked by opportunists.
We just wanted a peace protest, but everything turned into violence, everything turned into negativity. This is not what we wanted. I don't think any of the people sitting here, standing here wanted this, but this happened. Now we have to get back, we have to work hard, now we have to clean our city, we have to clean the country, we want a new Nepal. This is what we all are here for.
Across the city, it was clear things were still fragile.
Here you see signs of where the unrest spread. There's a Hilton Hotel at the end. That is smouldering. This is a jail. And on this van are prisoners who tried to escape during the protest. They're now being put on these vans, taken to another prison. But it is just an indication of how chaotic it got in Kathmandu.
Now starts the repair work. And Gen Z has found an unexpected seat at the table in talks with the military, hoping for a say in who leads Nepal next.
Whatever happens next, whatever shape this country's leadership takes, this protest showed the immense potential power of young people. In just 2 days, they managed to topple a government, wiping out the ruling elite.
Of course, it's often easier to tear things down than rebuild them, but Gen Z does have momentum. The question is whether they have the skill and support to change the political landscape that's dominated here for decades.